Hello everyone and welcome to this video about the SWAM Big Band Template for DVCmate. Today we are happy to share with you a new performance of 100 new presets, the SWAM Big Band Voicings. If you're not familiar with the SWAM Big Band Template, make sure that you watch our previous videos on the topic to get up to speed. Both the template and the performances are a free resource for DVCmate and SWAM users. You can just download them free of charge on our website. While the core performance offered automatic drop 2 and drop 2 and 4 voicings and unisons, the SWAM Big Band Voicings performance goes a little further. The presets included in this performance used the transposer plugin and the transposer scale lock to generate chords from just a single melody line. As you load the presets, you will find that all of them have the melody range enabled and extended across the whole playing range of the instruments. They are not designed to play chords, but just single monophonic melody lines. DVCmate will then create full chords below or above the line you play. Here's an example, playing just a simple melody line and letting DVCmate do the rest. That is really fun to play, and you don't have to practice those voicings and chords on the piano. You can just play a melody line and get your full big band. And of course, this way you can make your ensemble play stuff that you could never play live with all the different voices on the piano. The pages of the performance are structured in the same way as the Big Band core performance. First you have the full band and mixed presets, then one page focused on trumpets and trombones together, then saxophone section, then trumpets alone, and finally trombones alone. For the brass instruments, we once again have a bunch of different mutes and options mapped on the page. There are different kinds of voicings, instrument combinations and mutes throughout the whole band. For some of the presets, you will see that also the low range is enabled. This allows you to switch the root note of the scale on the fly with the root following function of the transposer. By default, all presets are saved in the C major scale, but by playing notes in this low range, these presets allow you to change that quickly while playing, even in the middle of a chord. Now, to understand what all of these presets are doing and how they relate to each other, we once more have to go over some essential arranging technique. So let's look at some oversimplified theory. Most of the presets in this performance emulate an arranging technique called mechanical voicings. This technique is basically the bread and butter of big band writing. In the last video on the Big Band core performance, we discussed the practice of harmonizing a note by arranging notes of a chord right below them to form a so-called close voicing. You can then drop parts of this close voicing down an octave to create drop 2 and 4 or drop 3 voicings. You can also substitute notes of this chord with tensions to make the chord more exciting. Mechanical voicings are simply the extension of this practice in a melodic context. So let's say we have a very simple melody here. It's all over a C6 chord and we are in C major. Now let's arrange the remaining notes of the C6 chord under this first chord. And now with all voices moving in the same direction and keeping the general structure of the first chord intact, we hang notes that fit our current scale below each and every melody note. That's a very simple four-way close mechanical voicing right there. Things then change once you do this with a different chord, have out-of-scale melody notes, or you decide to make this into a drop 2 voicing. There's also a lot more you can do and a lot of cool choices that you have as an arranger to spice this up and make it more interesting. But this is the basic idea of mechanical voicings. First, all instruments involved in the line play the same rhythm. Second, every melody note gets its own chord. And third, most of the time all voices are moving in the same direction. When you listen to big band music, you'll hear a lot of lines harmonized this way. And this is the core concept that should help you understand what Voicings is doing in most of these presets and why it's actually quite idiomatic for big band music. The majority of presets in this performance will harmonize the melodies you play like this, arranging notes of specific chords below your melody line and then moving them around in parallel according to the scale. They are also not limited to simple major 7th or 6th chords, but there are also quartal voicings and chords with more complex tensions in there. And some of the presets are not using the scale lock at all, but are simply always shifting the exact same chord structure with your melody. These also add a really interesting touch. This technique is called constant structure because the structure of the chord is not adapting to the scale degree at all. These presets can be recognized by the word constant in their title. There's another category of presets that works a little differently from the mechanical presets, the spread voicings. Instead of arranging notes below a melody line, these create a chord on top of played notes. So essentially, you play the bass note and a chord is generated on top of it. Therefore, you should play them rather at the lower end of the melody range. This can be quite nice for accompaniment of a solo line in an arrangement. The cool thing here is that you can record all the voicings generated by Voicings as a starting point and then go in and move notes around to spice things up or improve the voice leading. This way you can get your ideas down quickly but still have all the control over the exact voicings and chord colors when you go into detail. Creating good sounding big band arrangements and jotting down ideas quickly gets a lot faster this way. And of course the potential for performing live with this is huge. So I hope you find this new set of orchestrations for the SWAM Big Band Template useful. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to this channel to get more stuff like this and let us know in the comments what you'd like to see from us in the future. That's it for this video, thank you for watching and see you next time.